where I am now is where I'm supposed to be. I feel like this is the life that I wanted for myself and that I worked for. I definitely feel like for the first 4 years of my career, I couldn't believe that I was actually on tour and living the dream.
Coco Gauff just gave one of the most honest and refreshing interviews we've heard in a long time. She didn't hold back at all when talking about her mindset, faith, and goals for the 2025 season. No filters, no fake smiles, just real talk. Question for you: has Coco officially entered her Serena era, or is this something completely new? Man, this new Coco Gauff interview hit different. You could tell right from the start. She wasn't giving those standard, "I'm just taking it one match at a time" answers. Nah. This was raw, calm, and confident. Coco sounded like someone who knows exactly who she is, where she's going, and how much she's already overcome to get here.
People don't think so because I look so serious, but I am happy inside. Most recently, probably winning French Open, but also when I play with my brother, I'm pretty happy too.
She starts off by saying, "It feels like where I am now is where I'm supposed to be." You could almost hear the peace in her voice. And honestly, it's not something you hear often in professional tennis, especially from a 21-year-old who's already living in the spotlight. Most athletes talk about pressure. Coco? She talks about purpose. That's what makes this version of Coco so interesting. Early in her career, she was all about chasing wins and proving herself. But now, she's talking about enjoying the moment and finding balance, that quiet confidence that separates stars from legends.
I think accomplishing your goals, for sure. That's the meaning of success, I guess, on a tennis literal sense. But obviously, on a life scale sense, I definitely think being happy is the biggest reward you can have.
She said, "I feel like this is the life that I wanted for myself and that I worked for." And that's facts, because if you followed her journey, you know it wasn't handed to her. She didn't come from a massive tennis legacy or a big-name academy. She came from Delray Beach, Florida, with parents who believed in her more than anyone else. Her dad used to take her to practice every day, pushing her to be better, but never letting her forget why she started. And now, she's sitting here, a Grand Slam champion, a household name, and one of the most admired athletes on the planet, still saying she's not satisfied. That right there, that's scary.
When I was growing up, I definitely wanted to be the best tennis player for sure in the world. That was my goal, and I mean, it still is, but at that time, it was definitely the thing that consumed my mind the most. I still want to be the best player. I want to reach number one day and, win more slams, and I'm definitely not close to being satisfied, but I think as an adult, now think about other aspects and other goals of life outside of the court, whereas when I was younger, it was strictly tennis.
Then she drops another gem, talking about how for the first 4 years of her career, she couldn't even believe she was living her dream. "I couldn't believe I was actually on tour and living the dream," she said. That's crazy when you think about it, because we all saw her explode onto the scene like she was born ready. But inside, she was still processing it all. The fame, the expectations, the endless comparisons to Serena and Venus. And now, in 2025, she's finally found that middle ground between dream and reality. She's grateful, but still hungry. She said, "I'm usually always happy on the court. People don't think so because I look so serious, but I am happy inside." That line alone could be a meme. Everyone always calls Coco intense or stoic, but she's literally telling people that she's just focused. You'd think the tennis world would have figured that out by now. Focus doesn't mean anger. But Coco's learned to let people think whatever they want. When she mentioned her happiest moments, she didn't just bring up the US Open or her major titles. She said, "Most recently, probably winning French Open, but also when I play with my brother, I'm pretty happy too." That shows you exactly where her head is. It's not just about trophies anymore, it's about joy.
Sometimes there'll be moments on tour where I'm not necessarily believing that. So yeah, I think it's going to be a constant battle for me throughout my career. The last thing I do go to sleep is pray. It helps me stay grounded a lot. It just reminds me that there's much bigger to life than tennis and the sport. I feel like being an athlete, you kind of feel like you're wrapped into your results affecting your moods and your results affecting what's considered a good week or a bad week, and I try to steer away from that, so that helps me just realize that I have so much to be grateful for outside of tennis and try to be the best person I can be and be the best reflection of my faith as I can.
And speaking of joy, she was asked what success means to her, and instead of giving some cliche about winning titles or breaking records, she said, "I think accomplishing your goals for sure, but on a life scale, I definitely think being happy is the biggest reward you can have." That's deep, especially from someone whose every move gets dissected online. She's basically saying, if I lose every match but stay happy and grounded, I've already won. And honestly, that's power. When she talked about her goals for the 2025 season, she didn't sugarcoat it. She said straight up, "I still want to be the best player. I want to reach #1 one day and win more slams." But then she added something that really stood out. "I'm definitely not close to being satisfied." There it is, that fire. The same fire we saw when she took down world #1 at 15 years old. The same fire that carried her through tough losses when the critics said she'd peaked too early. She's still that same competitor, just with more maturity now. Coco even talked about how her goals have changed over time. When she was younger, it was all about tennis. Now, she's thinking beyond the court, about faith, family, and the kind of person she wants to be. As an adult now, she said, "I think about other goals of life outside of the court, whereas when I was younger, it was strictly tennis." You can tell she's found peace with herself. She said that she ends every night by praying. "It helps me stay grounded," she said. "It reminds me that there's much more to life than tennis." That's not something you expect to hear from a 21-year-old global superstar, but that's Coco. While others are chasing headlines, she's chasing balance. She even admitted that she still struggles with self-belief sometimes. "Sometimes there'll be moments on tour where I'm not necessarily believing that," she said. "So yeah, I think it's going to be a constant battle for me throughout my career." That honesty is what makes this interview so powerful. She's not pretending to have it all figured out. She's showing that even the best athletes doubt themselves sometimes, but they keep pushing anyway. Then she said something every athlete should hear. Being an athlete, you kind of feel like you're wrapped into your results affecting your moods. She's talking about how easy it is to tie your happiness to wins and losses. And she's right. So many players get lost in that. But Coco's learning how to separate who she is from what she does. That's growth. She said, "I try to steer away from that and realize I have so much to be grateful for outside of tennis." She even mentioned how her friends and coaches see her differently. "My friends see me as regular, casual, funny. My coaches think I'm serious on court, but I just can't control my facial expressions." That line had everyone laughing, because it's true. Coco looks like she's solving algebra equations mid-match, but really, she's just locked in. And you can see how self-aware she's become. She said her family sees her the most accurately. "I see a person that I'm proud of, and reached a lot to get here. Someone who wants to go a lot further." That sums it up perfectly. Coco Gauff knows she's achieved greatness, but she's not done yet. She's chasing something deeper now: legacy, peace, and purpose. The 2025 season hasn't even fully started, but this interview already tells you how focused she is. She's not thinking about hype, she's thinking about consistency. That's what separates her from everyone else. She's not playing to prove people wrong anymore. She's playing to prove herself right. And if the rest of the tennis world isn't paying attention, they better start. Because this version of Coco is the most dangerous one yet. When Coco said, "I want to reach #1 one day," she didn't say it with arrogance. She said it like someone who's been planning it for years and is finally ready to take what's hers. You can tell she's not just chasing a ranking, she's chasing mastery. She wants to be the kind of player that changes the game, not just wins it. And honestly, she's already doing that. Her presence alone has shifted tennis culture. She's made it cool again for young players to care about discipline. You don't see her chasing attention, doing drama, or posting nonsense. She trains, competes, and represents herself with class. That's rare in sports today, and fans love her for it. And honestly, she's already doing that. Her presence alone has shifted tennis culture. She's made it cool again for young players to care about discipline. You don't see her chasing attention, doing drama, or posting nonsense. She trains, competes, and represents herself with class. That's rare in sports today, and fans love her for it. But here's the part that really stood out. Coco talked about self-belief like it's a skill, not a gift. She said, "Continuing to be my best cheerleader, my best friend out there on the court, and really believing in myself. That's deep. Most people don't realize how much self-talk shapes performance. You can have the best serve, the best coach, and the best equipment, but if your brain's not on your side, you're finished." Coco gets that. And it's funny because people think her biggest weapon is her speed or her backhand. It's not. It's her mind. Her mindset is built on growth. She doesn't shy away from failure. She studies it. She learns from it. She moves forward. That's how she came back after tough losses earlier in her career. She didn't spiral or blame others. She simply adjusted. And now, in 2025, that growth is showing. She's calm in interviews, measured in responses, and confident without needing to say much. That's what maturity looks like in real time. When asked about what drives her now, she said something that hits hard. Being happy is the biggest reward. You could feel that came from experience. Because let's be real, Coco's been under pressure since she was 15. She's lived through media hype, fan obsession, and comparisons no teenager should have to deal with. But instead of letting it break her, she learned from it. She's figured out that joy isn't something that comes after success. It's what fuels it. And that's why this interview is making waves. It's not the typical, "I'm ready for the next match" talk. It's her letting the world know she's entering a new phase of her career. One that's built on peace, purpose, and power. Then she mentioned her faith. "The last thing I do before I go to sleep is pray," she said. "It helps me stay grounded." You could hear the sincerity in her voice. She's not just saying it for show. That's her foundation. When everything around her gets loud, the fans, the critics, the cameras, prayer is what keeps her steady. That balance between confidence and humility is what makes her special. She can win a major and still talk like she's learning. She can lose a match and still smile in interviews. That's not fake positivity. That's perspective. And let's be honest, the tennis world isn't always kind to players like Coco. She's young, outspoken, and successful. 3 things that often bring out jealousy. But instead of firing back at critics, she stays classy. She lets her game do the talking. Still, it's wild how people keep underestimating her. Every season you hear the same tired line. Let's see if she can keep it up. And every season she shuts them up with wins, records, and endorsements that prove she's not going anywhere. This 2025 version of Coco isn't just about surviving the tour. It's about owning it. She's got a clear vision now. Her technique has improved, her serve's stronger, and her movement looks sharper than ever. You can tell she's working with intent, not just training for the sake of it. She said, "I'm proud of the person I've become, and I want to go a lot further." That's not just about tennis. That's about life. She's talking about evolving as a human being, not just as an athlete. And that's what makes her stand out in a sport full of talent, but short on character. Coco knows how to connect with people. Even when she's serious on court, fans can feel her energy. It's genuine. That's why her interviews go viral. Not because she says something wild, but because she says something real. This new interview also showed how much she's learned about handling pressure. She admitted that sometimes she doesn't believe in herself during matches, but she's learned how to talk herself through it. That's powerful stuff. It's like she's coaching herself mid-game, reminding herself why she belongs. She's human, and she's not afraid to show it. That's why fans relate to her. She's confident but not cocky, serious but still funny, grounded but ambitious. Even her comments about her facial expressions were hilarious. "I can't control them," she said, laughing. "I look serious, but I'm just focused." Anyone who's watched her play knows exactly what she means. Her locked-in face could probably scare a wall, but inside, she's probably just running through strategies and timing her next shot. That honesty makes her interviews feel fresh. No rehearsed lines, no fake modesty, just Coco being Coco. And this mindset is dangerous for her opponents. Because a player who's at peace with themselves is nearly impossible to shake. You can't rattle someone who's already accepted both success and failure as part of the journey. She's entering 2025 with that calm, laser-focused energy. And if she's talking like this before the season even starts, everyone else should be nervous. It's funny though. People once called her too emotional. Now they're realizing that emotion is exactly what makes her so good. She's passionate, expressive, and unapologetically herself. That's not weakness, that's authenticity, and it's paying off. Brands love her, fans adore her. Analysts can't stop talking about her. She's becoming the face of tennis, not just women's tennis, but tennis period. Even her rivals are starting to respect it. Because deep down, they know Coco's the full package: talent, discipline, personality, and purpose. That's rare. And here's the part that's easy to miss. She's only getting started. All this talk about maturity and peace, that's just her foundation. Now she's ready to build on it. She wants more majors, more consistency, and maybe even that #1 ranking she mentioned. She's chasing something bigger than trophies. She's chasing greatness. The kind that lasts, the kind that doesn't fade when the spotlight moves on. And if she keeps this mindset, 2025 might be her best year yet. You can feel it in how she talks. Calm, grateful, but still hungry. That's a dangerous mix. Because when Coco Gauff says she's not satisfied, the tennis world better pay attention. Coco Gauff didn't hold back in this interview. And she didn't need to. She's focused, grounded, and ready to take 2025 by storm. Her mindset is different now, and honestly, the rest of the tour should be worried. What do you think? Is this Coco's era? Let me know in the comments. Hit that like button and subscribe for more.